Well, inside southern Israel near Gaza, much of life has been paused, but I understand you have the story today of schools that are actually restarting.
Yeah, that's right. It absolutely has been paused in southern Gaza over the last few months, and much of southern Gaza has, in fact, been evacuated. But this weekend, we film in Sderot. That is the largest city in southern Israel, right there nearest Gaza, where on October the 7th, Hamas killed at least 50 civilians and 20 police officers. Now the government is facilitating families to return and restarting schools. And a warning, some of the images in our report are disturbing to watch.
In Sderot's Hamakif Haklalia Meet Secondary School, it's the first day of school for the second time this year. For 5 months, all of these students and their families have been displaced. And so today's a reunion for boys who can be boys again, including Joseph Hai.
I am very, 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 very excited to see them in school year. I'm not so excited to see the teachers.
Those teachers feel being here is their duty. And Molly Nessimpour brings additional responsibilities, her 2 youngest children. She doesn't have childcare, but she felt she had to be here, as we talked about before she returned.
I must go to my job. I have responsibility to my students.
She made those students responsible for one homework assignment: create cards of the Israeli soldiers who've died since October the 7th and the words they lived by.
Love everyone. Love every people.
Ilan Abakesis is trying to give a lot of love. He's a history teacher and the vice principal, and he knows what the students have endured.
They absolutely with a post-trauma, and we are trying to make educational and routine, but how can you come back to routine when this movie is on your mind?
That very real movie of Israel's Black Saturday is enshrined on the school's wall. On October the 7th, Hamas terrorists killed 51 people in Sderot, including Dolev Swissa, a former student at this school, and his wife, Odaya, a former staff member. That morning, Hamas gunmen drove into downtown Sderot unimpeded, and Odaya Swissa ended up in an ambush. A gunman shot and killed her point blank. And in the back seat, their 6- and 3-year-old daughters. Police approached, and the 6-year-old asked which side they were on. She tells them she was protecting her little sister. That day, gunmen also killed Dolev Swissa, leaving the girls orphans. Sderot is the closest Israeli city to Gaza, and Hamas left it in flames. They targeted police vehicles with heavy weapons, left executed bodies on the road. They captured the police station, and they massacred dozens of tourists waiting at the bus stop. Today, the bus stop has been cleaned up. A mall has reopened. But the scars are everywhere. This tour is standing on the site of what used to be the police station. And the playgrounds are mostly empty.
Now the city, it's a kind of a ghost, and it's very hard to live like that.
Nessimpour and her 6 children evacuated from Sderot to 3 different hotels and homes, ending up in Jerusalem.
We want our house back. It's not comfortable to live in another house.
How does it feel to be back in Sderot?
The parents in Sderot are very, very, very afraid to send their children. Our city will be alive. But we must be patient. We must say that we're under war. The war is not ended.
Abakesis evacuated his family 175 miles south to Eilat, except for his youngest son, who deployed to Gaza for 100 days. Abakesis also evacuated what he calls his second family to Eilat, his students. He calls himself his students' anchor and hopes that education in the desert or in Sderot provides routine and reassurance.
What does child ask for everywhere in the world? Quiet, security, education, run like children in street, like any other child in the world. Sderot children too.
Do you feel safe in Sderot?
Personally, yes, I feel safe because I'm sure the October 7th will not come back again. But I know a lot of people, they don't want to come back to Sderot again. until the government or someone give them a promise that this is the last war.
But Eli Butera doesn't believe that promise yet.
The trust has been gone. We don't trust the government.
Butera and his wife and daughter have also lived in multiple places since October the 7th. They returned to Sderot when his daughter's state-sponsored childcare ran out. He supports the war in Gaza, but cannot forgive his own government for a generational intelligence and security failure.
They've been ignored. All the alerts. There were a lot of alerts that they're going to do it. The government, the army, and the intelligence just ignored. The monster needs to die. But who's the real criminal here?
For Tali Levy, those politics can wait, but she remains in a rented apartment. She refuses to return to Sderot because she doesn't think it's safe.
I have to take out the poison from there. I have to clean it. I can't even stand the smell in the house. The combat here.
For months, Levy has stayed busy helping others and giving tours to visitors who support Israel. But now she feels she needs her own support for post-traumatic stress.
I was so strong. I suddenly felt that I'm not good. It's very hard for me to be on the other side, the one that needs help.
All she can hope is that one day she'll feel confident enough to return to Sderot, and that the city's recovery will also be the country's. For the PBS NewsHour, I'm Nick Schifrin.